motherfuckers, yes!
Sean, you know what today is?
Happy birthday, Mark!
Today is my birthday. And there's nothing I would rather do than be with these guys right here. My name is Mark Walters of BigFanboy.com. First of all, thank you very much for coming out to Texas Frightmare Weekend. Has everybody had a blast? How can you not? So without further ado, let's bring the Boondock Boys up here. Sean, Patrick Flanery, Norman Reedus, David Della Rocco. Let's get them on up.
Good morning, everybody.
They don't stretch that far.
They won't stretch it?
Yeah, you have to use one.
It will. Maybe if we scoot the chairs up. Can we do that?
Yeah, you can scoot it up. Here.
Yes, come closer.
Have all three of these.
Come closer.
Okay, so you guys have all met, right? All right. Anyways, a couple of years ago, there was a big screening premiere for Boondock Saints 2 right here in Dallas, Texas, which I had the pleasure of co-hosting that with Red Carpet Crash. So I don't know if any of you guys got to come to that, but we had Norman and Sean here. But this is Rocco's first time, so let's give him a warm welcome. What is it you guys find about Texas that separates it out and makes it different from some of the other places you visited? I mean, I know you went all over the place when the screenings were going on for Boondock 2, but what is it about Texas that makes it special to you? Thank you, Sean. Sean's from here, so I mean, he's a Texas boy. What have you guys found, like, especially with the fans, getting a chance to meet all the fans here in Texas? Because I mean, you guys have done these things in other places too, so.
Lots of pretty girls in Texas.
Yeah.
Hospitality, people are nice. Where we all live in LA and Hollywood. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know half my neighbors. It's just bizarre to me. Where I grew up, it's if somebody new came into the neighborhood, you'd bring them cookies and you'd tell them what your dad did. Hey, my dad does this. If you guys need that, he's the. That's the way I grew up. And you could ride your bike around the neighborhood. LA. I don't know who lives 2 fucking houses down from me. It's so weird. So it's always good to come back home, and there's just a different degree of hospitality. You walk into a grocery store and people are like, "Good morning," and it's not weird. In LA, that's fucking weird. If somebody says hello to you in a grocery store, they're gonna fucking molest you. In Texas, it's just like, oh, I'm good. How you doing? Yeah, good. Yourself? Yeah, good. Yeah, good. And you? Yeah, and you? Good. Yeah. In LA, it's like, "Good morning." Good. What's wrong, honey? He just said good morning to me. You think I'm making this shit up? I'm not, man.
I live in New York, so if someone says good morning, you just go, hello me.
Now, I mean, the Boondock Saints, for those of you that aren't familiar, when the first movie came out, it didn't really get a proper theatrical run. Where it really got its life was on home video. Blockbuster agreed to carry it and sell previously viewed copies of it, which is how I got my first copy. And it made, am I correct in assuming $200 million, something like that? It's like probably the highest grossing film in terms of on home video sales as opposed to theatrical sales that has ever happened, I would imagine. But I mean, that's just got to blow you guys away. I mean, did you have any idea that when you made that thing, did you think it was just going to be just another movie at that point?
Rocco's like.
I had a good time last night.
That loosely translated, that's.
And so that question about a movie, yeah. No, I had no idea. What was the question?
That is vintage motherfucking David Della Rocco right there. I live with that shit all the time. That motherfucker will wake up on a Tuesday and answer a question I asked last Friday. Makes me fucking confused. He wakes up, he's like, "Hey, Flanery, 17. What the fuck are you talking about? He's like, you asked me how old I was the first time I'm like, dude, I asked you that last month.
If you have any questions, ask Flanery.
By the way, I do want to throw out a little tease. There's a really great documentary that's going to be coming out later this year called Off the Boulevard, and Rocco is prominently featured in that. David Della Rocco is one of the prominent features. So look for that. Off the Boulevard. It's going to be coming out later this year. Now, Sean, we've done a couple interviews that I posted up, and I've done an interview with Norman when he came through Dallas. The number one thing that gets commented on the interviews whenever I post them is, "Where's the damn accent?" So for all those annoying people that post those comments, will you please give us a little McManus Brothers so that they will shut up?
Shut the fuck up.
Shut it, bitch. I think this is the accent they want. In nomine Patrick Flanery, Spiritus Sancti. You bunch of dirty bitches. Right? There you go. We're just violent vigilantes. We like to just tear shit up. Down in the front. Right? Is that it? We good? Now shut the fuck up!
That was young Indiana Jones, right?
No, as I call him, that's young Cindy.
All right, listen, I know you guys all have questions, so think about what you want to ask. If anybody wants to kick it off, raise your hand and we'll call on you so we can get some questions from the audience. I know somebody's got a question. Anybody? Right back there. There we go.
Any talks about a third one, and do we have to wait another 10 years?
Any talks about a third one? Do we have to wait another 10 years?
Yeah, it's in the cooker right now. No, not another 10. I mean, the reason, guys, what do you think the cooker means? Everyone's like, cooker. It's percolating up there. The reason it was 10 years is because of a lawsuit deal that's been put behind us. So it won't be another 10. Now it's just a creative process. So it's in the works, but not necessarily right around the corner. You know, movies take a long time. So I'd say 2-3 years or something. But it's up there.
Back over here.
We'll be back in this next one.
Get the paddles! Nah. I'm kidding. I have no idea.
Anything's possible, right? Troy proved that in Boondock too. Right there.
Do you know if he's going to be doing any other movies?
Do you know if Troy Duffy's going to be doing any other movies? I know the answer to this, but I'll let you.
I think he's got a couple of scripts. He's got he wrote a bunch of killer scripts. One's called The Good King that I know he's trying to get working, and one's called The Blood Spoon Council, which I know that he's trying to align that, in that order. Actually reverse, Blood Spoon Council first. So we'll see how it goes, but it's a killer script, man. Killer script. Who's next? Yes, ma'am, in the red.
Have you guys, for the third movie, are you giving any input to Troy about where you want the story to go?
Yes.
As much as possible.
Yeah.
France.
You want to be in prison the whole time?
And no, you guys are laughing. I asked him where he wanted to vacation fucking last October. That just came out now. France. He's fucking serious. That just dawned on him right now. Flanery asked me where I wanted to go vacation. Fucking just came out. Who's next? Yes.
Sorry, this is a non-Boondocks question, but what was it like working on Charmed for both of you guys?
Well, I was trying to get together with Rose McGowan, and she and I had the same publicist at the time, and she asked me to do it, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll make out with you, whatever. And then the next day there was contracts for that, so I did it, but I didn't get to make out with her.
For me, it was the same story, Alyssa Milano.
43.
Yeah. I think you're right, actually. Yeah. Well, that was a Vegas question from last Wednesday.
At the very, very back in the black shirt.
What was it like working with Billy Connolly?
What was it like working with Billy Connolly?
The cat's a rock star. I mean, literally, some of the funniest shit making those films is riding in the van to work with Billy Connolly. Because every story the cat says starts out with something like, "It reminds me of '74 with Elton John and two midget strippers from Uruguay. I believe Peter Fonda was there. Mick Jagger was sucking on a lollipop." was a little monkey pulling on my leg. A lot like I'm pulling on yours. It's fucking Billy Conn. No shit. This guy lived everybody's fantasy every day of his life. Yeah.
He lives in a castle, for real. A big castle in the sky.
Over on this side, let's see, I don't want to ignore you guys. Anybody in the back? No? All right, I saw another one over here.
Nope. Okay. Well.
No? Okay, we're done, thank you. There's one all the way at the back there in the middle. Yeah, in the green shirt.
What about the sinners and saints?
What about Sinners and Saints?
Can you be more specific? I could read the script for all 120 pages. What do you want to know, man?
So, like, is that the new sequel to the Boondock Saints, or is that just another movie?
Oh no! That's a killer film directed by Will Kaufman. That's has nothing to do with Boondock Saints, but it's a very well done film. It'll be coming out shortly. It just has Saints in the title, but Costas Mandylor is in it. A number of people are in this film, and it's a very well executed killer film. So check it out. Nothing to do with Boondock though.
Right there.
Yes, sir.
What was it like working with Willem Dafoe?
What was it like working with Willem Dafoe?
Rock. Tell him the story where he tried to touch your ding dong.
It was fun working with him.
We need details. We need details.
Yes.
Details, yeah.
Did you walk around in that dress a lot? Lipstick.
Yeah, I remember when he was getting down with that guy? That was rough. High lips and stuff, yeah.
All right.
Fucking God bless Rocco.
That is great. He loves cats, by the way, just so you know. I know that for a fact. So.
You think this is Rocco. Rocco is a motherfucking genius, let me tell you that shit. There's so much shit cooking around in its fucking cerebellum that it's too much shit to actually functionally put out of the mouth. One time Rocco comes up to me and he says this to me. He goes, "Do you like peanut butter?" I said, "Yeah, Rock, I like peanut butter, right? Yeah." And this is what Rocco did. He went, "Yeah, me too." And then he fucking just drifted off into the ether somewhere. And I knew there was some shit that I didn't fucking comprehend about him. He was fucking dropping logic on me. I was just going, I don't even fucking know how to decipher that shit.
I saw one right here in the red. I thought I saw you. Yeah, there you go.
We were just wondering, Norman, actually, Walking Dead, when does that start filming again? And how do you feel about being written into the comic?
I'm excited that he's putting me in the comic. I hope that happens. But we go back June 1st, somewhere around there, and we do 13 episodes instead of 6 this time. I'm loving being on the show. It's a blast. So that's where I'm headed.
Is
Right after this, actually.
it more tight, like when they're doing, because like this first episode they did 6 episodes, or the first season they did 6 episodes. Is it actually easier in some ways because you don't have it stretched out over such a long period of time to kind of be more cohesive when you make those episodes?
Wait, is it easier to do 6 episodes instead of more?
Yeah, I mean, because you don't have that long stretch of having to keep up with how, what we're going to do in every single episode of the season.
It was actually a lot like shooting a film, to be honest. I'm not too familiar with television, but it felt like we were doing a film. It was large-scale sets. We shot, different plot lines with what seemed like one film. You know what I mean?
Why did they only do 6?
I think because it was zombies, and AMC wasn't sure how that would come across, and I think they sort of wanted to test the waters a little bit. So I think that's why there was only 6.
Would you guys have ever thought we would have seen such a badass zombie TV show ever? I mean, it's great. It's phenomenal. So if you haven't seen The Walking Dead, pick it up now on DVD and Blu-ray. It's phenomenal.
It's a blast, though, for sure.
Right here.
Speaking of Walking Dead, are we ever going to see Michael Rooker again?
Yeah, you'll see him again. You'll see him again.
Wait a minute, who's that? Who's that?
He's an actor that you ever see Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer?
Yeah.
He's Henry. He's an amazing actor and the dopest guy ever. But he played my brother on the show.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't recognize him. Yeah. I got that.
Great. It's like the coolest.
He was a killer in that too.
Yeah. But he'll come back for sure. I don't know exactly when, but he'll definitely be back. He's not going to be the governor. I know people are asking.
He's gonna find him in a closet having a long discussion with Rocco.
There's something else that I've talked to you guys about this before in private, but I want to bring it up in public. Peanut butter. That I think is really important because I'm sure some of you out there have seen Overnight, and you may have noticed in Overnight that at no point in time did they ever actually talk to the actors in the movie. So for the record, would you guys like to talk about what kind of guy Troy Duffy really is?
He's a fucking douche.
No, he did that. Overnight wasn't right. Troy's a good guy.
Rocco knows him better than all of us, I think. But yeah, you can. I've said it before. You can have enough. If you have a lot of footage of Santa Claus, you can edit it to make him look like an asshole. You know what I mean? He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, and you know, you just said it yourself. I mean, if you look at a documentary, and at no point did they interview any member of the cast or the crew, but they still tell a point. You know, that's damn effective documentary making. Because I finished watching that and I started thinking, man, the guy's a dick. And I work with him every single day. You know, it was a very effective documentary. But yeah, they never interviewed me. They never interviewed anybody that actually worked with the cat. But you know, so he's a good dude. I mean, we all keep in touch. We go to barbecues together. He's a solid cat.
Yeah. So the bottom line, Overnight's bullshit. I saw a hand back there. There we go. Think about doing a zombie cameo in The Walking Dead.
Fuck, if I could have his crossbow, right? Why the fuck they give Reedus a crossbow? Reedus, little people don't know, is he wanted to use musical spoons, you know those. And he wanted to conk like zombies on the head. He called me and I'm like, dude, that's a different level of badassery altogether. Get a fucking crossbow. He's like, you sure? I'm like, trust me on this.
You got to kick in all the doors in Boondock Saints. At least give me my crossbow. You
gonna get to keep that crossbow?
Probably not.
It's fucking badass.
Like, yeah, no, it's really cool actually. But I get to play with it quite a bit. So
Nice. All right, over here.
Is there anybody you haven't worked with that you'd like to now?
Anybody you haven't worked with that you'd like to now?
I'll give you the answer in about an hour.
Which is expedited, by the way. That's some FedEx shit right there. You think you're stoned when you're walking down the hall and you just hear, Arnold Schwarzenegger! Oh! Fuck, thank you, Rocco. I didn't know you were still in town. The con ended like a week ago, but right on, Rocco.
the list of people that I'd like to work with is super long. There's a ton of people. I'd like to work with Jim Jarmusch and a ton of actors. I mean, there's a ton. Yeah.
Norman, if I could, what was it like working with Guillermo del Toro?
Guillermo gave me my first movie. He put me in Mimic, and I remember when we went to do Blade 2, he called me in for a meeting, and I didn't know what the meeting was for. And he goes, look, Norman, I know you like to do all these indie films that no one ever fucking sees. And I went, what the fuck does that mean? And he goes, well, you'd never do a movie like this one. And I was like, what is it? He was like, would you do it? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, you're Scud. And then he took me around and showed me like what the hell Scud was and what movie we were doing. But Guillermo, like that guy's love of film and his attitude in general is just infectious. He's actually like, you know, when Wesley's doing all the, you know, the karate stuff, he's actually behind the monitor going, ow, ow, cha, cha. Like a little kid, you know. And he's one of the coolest guys I've ever met, in all honesty. And his mind just he's like Salvador Dali or something.
Yeah, he
Great
really
guy.
is. Amazing director. Right over here.
Favorite fan story, something a fan has done that you guys just can't believe it.
Favorite fan story, fan experiences.
Rock, tell him a story about that redhead with the tongue and the
penis.
After that, I swear, he has never, ever hooked up with a fan without doing a package check after that.
Was that where the peanut butter question came in? All right, so what about you guys, fan experiences?
Fan question. I had this like a 6-foot albino with long hair in New York on Broadway walk up to me and he goes, Boondock Saints. He goes, that gun you used in that movie, that was such a cool gun. He goes, I'm gonna give me one of those. And I was like, which gun? Because there was a bunch of guns. And he goes, the one in the gun room on the tripod. And I was like, what the fuck are you gonna do there? You're gonna shoot elephants with that?
It's a 50 cal. They hang outside of 53 choppers. You know what I mean?
It's huge. It's this tall on the tripod, and it's like reaches the back wall. But he's like, he got super mad at me. He was like, "That's a really good gun," and like gave me a dirty look and stomped off, and he was gonna kill me. That was pretty weird.
I was in a 7-Eleven. I just got done training. I was wringing wet and in shorts and a t-shirt, and I got a Gatorade. And it was Halloween, and I was right. Any of you guys that know LA, I was right on La Cienega and Holloway, which is right off Santa Monica Boulevard, right in Boys Town. And so I'm at a 7-Eleven, wringing wet. It's Halloween, and I'm buying my Gatorade in line, and I look over and there's this dude. And I see him. I'm like, oh shit! This guy's got a fedora on, all white, bald, got a bald cap on, got little glasses, and he's got a sports jacket on with forks and spoons and knives, like glued to his sports jacket. I look at him, I'm like, hey! And I look over at the cat, and he's like ahead of me, and I'm like, I like that costume. So who are you supposed to be? The dude looked at me like he wanted to fucking kill me, and he goes, obviously you haven't seen the movie, and he scurried out of the 7-Eleven. I was like, fuck yeah, brother. He was offended, man. He was angry at me. Obviously you haven't seen the film. He scurried out of there. I'm like, right on. I still get a kick out of that shit today, man.
Right back there in the pink. What was it like working with Clifton Collins Jr.?
We've known him for a bit.
Yeah, we're all friends with him before we did the film, so it was nice working with him. He's a cool guy, super cool, good actor, good guy.
He was kind of a family member prior, so it's killer, you know, to not have to warm up a relationship. He's a super good dude. Yeah, one time we'll tell him the story about when we were going to the Brass Rail. This is a titty club Clifton wants to go to. We're all in the back of this cab. It's Reedus, Clifton, and Flanery in the back of this. Rocco, were you with us? Yeah, I don't think so. So the phone rings. Clifton takes his phone out and he's like, yeah, dog, what's up, dog? Yeah, we shizzling on the chisel, kizzle, whizzle. You know how we do it up in here? Yeah, all right. Yo, I'm gonna hit you back, homie. Aight, then. Peace out. He clicks his phone shut and he goes, Statham.
I think there was a few more names he dropped before he said Statham.
Yeah. He's like, oh, you mean Samuel? Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that with Samuel. You know how we do. Like, me and Norman are going, like, Samuel L. Jackson. Is that what he's saying?
Slash?
You know, we do, yeah, me and Sliz Ash and Samuel, we chilling, you know. He clicks it. Statham. We were like, oh my fucking God. Me and Reedus were like busting the entire rest of the way. And he's like, what's funny, man? What are we laughing at? We're like, nothing, dude. But if you look at this cat's IMDb page, motherfuckers work with everybody. You know, everybody. He's a funny dude.
Right over here.
In the third one, if y'all talk to Duffy, is Rock gonna have another dream sequence?
In the third one, will Rock have another dream sequence?
Is there a Boondock without a rock?
No.
There you go.
Right there, yeah.
My question's for Rocco, if you can manage.
Question for Rock? Wow.
I can do this, you guys.
Believe me, I heard that you were going to be in a new movie called, like, The Black Dove?
Yeah.
What is that about?
That's. I don't know where it is right now.
Oh. Well, what's going to be in it, though?
Well, hopefully it'll come out someday. The movies I do. It's like, we don't, it's not these guys. It's I don't know. He's still trying to get it. It's done. It's just. Sean, you want to get me out of this?
This is the way you film with Rocco. Literally, the motherfucker walks in the room and they're like, roll the camera. We don't know. Is he going to say something? Roll it. Roll the fucking camera and point it at him. Who knows? They follow that motherfucker to lunch just in case he says it's like... That's a no-shitter, too. Fucking camera's pointing at him. Well, why are they following Rocco? He may say his line. I don't know.
Can you talk about the Boondock Saints comic and how that all came about.
Okay, you talk about the Boondock Saints comic book and how that came about from 12 gauge comics.
It's really simple. Troy wanted to have a comic. Everybody thought it was a great idea. The 12 gauge guys drew it out, and that's pretty much it.
Cool.
I don't know anything about it. I think I saw one once.
Right here.
This one's for Sean. What was it like working on the set of Saw? You know, jumping on such a huge franchise.
It was like working on.
You know, I gotta be honest. You know, it's like Norm said. You know, he and I have kind of made a career of films that nobody sees. You know, it's and there's up and downside to that. You know, the upside is you get to, you know, earn a living while retaining your anonymity, which is fucking cool. I will say. You know, you can still go to a restaurant, and if you get bad service, you can complain, and it's not like fucking Tom Cruise was complaining. You know what I mean? Like you treat it like a regular person. You know, the downside is. You never know if anybody's going to see your work. So it was really cool doing a movie that you knew was going to come out in 2,000 theaters. I've never had that before in my life. You know, when you're on the day and you're acting, you realize that people are going to see this. You know, like I think Norm can say the same thing. Probably some of his best work has never been seen. Mine as well. You know, it's because it's an independent film. You never know if it's going to get released and whatnot. It was just the best part about that was knowing that people were going to see it. It was just a really cool feeling. I felt like. Hollywood act, you know, I felt like I'm part of like the Hollywood machine. It was just really cool. It was a neat experience for me.
And right here.
More so for Norman, I've seen the movies by the way. Gossip and 8mm, you know, all those, they're kind of around the same genre or type of that. I was wondering if you're ever going to branch out. I know you've done Simply Irresistible, Suicide Kings, you know, they're all great. Are you ever going to branch out?
I don't know. I mean, my mom keeps saying, like, why don't you just do a nice little romantic comedy with Jennifer Love Hewitt or something, you know? But they, you know, they don't put me in those films. I'd kill somebody in everything I do. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would love to do something like that. It just, it's like, you ever see the movie Mystery Train? There's a scene in that where there's this one dude and he's got like, this girl that's putting lipstick all over him and he looks really depressed and he's smoking a cigarette. And she goes, why do you look so sad? And he goes, it's just how my face is. So I think I just have one of those faces that looks like it's gonna stab you or something. I don't know. I'd love to do something like that, you know, but I don't know.
Right back there.
If you had to rank them, what do you prefer? Stage, screen, or TV?
If you have to rank it, stage, screen, or TV, all three of you.
You know, I'll be honest. I mean, every thespian in Hollywood is gonna claim that, like, you know, theater's my main love. It's really where the heart is. I started doing theater. That's all I did, and I have really not a big desire to go back. The reason being is because, I mean, it's just so less intimate. For example, when you deliver a line, if me and Norman are in a theater having a scene where I go, hey, brother, I'm sorry about your mom dying. I have to deliver it like this. So, brother, I'm sorry about your mom dying. It's just so fucking unrealistic. You know what I mean? And you gotta project and enunciate and all this other. It's just so unrealistic. It's such a different, and for you, hearing that, it's unrealistic because it's so loud. For the people in the back, it's a completely different piece of theater. So it's just a very, very different world. I like film. I love film because you can do it as realistic as you would do it on the day. And there's a lot of ways you can change how it's received by the angle of the camera. It's just, there's so many more things involved. It's, for me, I know that people love the continuity and the fluidity of theater, and they can stay in a character from, you know, 1 minute to 90 minutes, and it's a different thing. But for me personally, I like film.
I like film too. I like the lifestyle of film. I like going someplace else and getting wrapped up in something and then leaving it there and going home and doing something else. That being said, if Walking Dead lasted 20 years, I'd be happy as hell. You know what I mean? So I think it's my favorite job. I mean, nothing against Boondock Saints. It's definitely right there with it. But Walking Dead, I'm really sort of loving it.
If I could ask a question about Walking Dead, because I am a comic book fan, what was it like working on that episode that Robert Kirkman actually wrote the script to? I mean, was he on set quite a bit and involved in that as well?
Yeah, actually, Robert, he was there every day. You know, and he's buddies with everyone, and he's really fun to hang out with. He's got this crazy sarcastic sense of humor, which is really fun. He created it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I remember my first day on that. Actually, I came in on the 3rd episode, so I hadn't met anybody yet. I hadn't met the rest of the cast, and they had already, been friends and been hanging out and working together, and they were all in the comic book, and I wasn't in the comic book, so I sort of felt like an outsider right off the bat. And then we do the first scene where I'm like, do you think we can cut off all the meat around where the zombies chewed on the deer or whatever? And then I look up and I look at all their faces, and they're looking at me like I'm a fucking idiot, right? And then they yelled cut, and then Greg Nicotero was actually the zombie that I shot in the brain and pulled the arrow out of. And he was totally fucked up with me. And he comes up and he's like, hey, I'm Greg, nice to meet you. And I was like, wow, these people are nuts. You know? But everybody on that cast are friends, and they get along really, really well. And we all eat lunch together and hang out, and everyone has their dogs or their husbands or whatever with them. And it's a lot of fun.
Very cool. All the way at the back in the black? Yeah. Yes, you. Will there be a Boondock Saints video game, and will you be voicing the Saints?
No idea.
Where were we now?
Boondock Saints video. There's a lot of interest. I know they'd like to. I think they're working out a deal, so who knows?
Right here. Yes, you.
I'd like all 3 to answer, boxers or briefs?
Boxers or briefs?
Let me tell you this, okay? Let me tell you this. This is just straight shooting shit. Any dude that lets his junk freestyle is in for a nasty day if he ever gets chased, he ever has to run. Any motherfucker that wears boxers is like, I hope I can just sit in a chair all day and not have the job. Any motherfucker that's like waiting, like, boxers are so much cooler. They're un-motherfucking functional. You want a rough piece of cotton compared to like a cotton swab of briefs? Feel the difference, man. One's fucking sandpaper, one's like a puffy pillow of cotton. I'm gonna wrap up the most important motherfucking thing I own. In boxers? Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. It's not about like what she sees when she takes her pants off. Fuck her. It's about your comfort, motherfucker. There's not a more important thing to me, and I'm gonna wrap that shit up in cotton swabs all day long. Held nice and snug. Should I have to jog anywhere? I don't want this shit going balloon, 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 balloon. Oh, but I ought to be real cool when they see me in my boxes. Fuck that. Cut to, they probably wear fucking boxes. That's why in the airport, they're late. I'm like, dude, we were late. They're like, I don't know what to do, man. As quick as I could go, man, because my shit's freestyling, you know? If it was tucked up nice and tight, I could jog.
My junk's wrapped in cashmere.
I have to say, Sean knows, I'll change, but boxers.
Thank you very much for asking that question, by the way. Right over here. Do you? Yep.
We've heard stories about the shower scene in part 2. Can you elaborate?
Stories about the shower scene in part 2.
Yes, I dropped the soap. That did happen. They do have that in slow motion. There was a little cock sock involved.
Okay, so check it out. Check it out.
This story you're about to hear, the fish got that big.
This is no fish story, man. He wishes it got that big. First of all, it's fucking 32 degrees out, so no shit was ever that big, okay? It ain't that big in the fucking sweltering heat of Houston, Texas, motherfucker. We did this in 30 degrees. It's they're like, oh yeah, we got like hot water. This was like at like 2 p.m. We shot this at like 4 a.m. The water was freezing cold. It's like 20-something degrees out in the farm outside of Toronto. And Duffy comes up and he's like, yeah, we got these, man bags. I'm like, what the fuck's a man bag? He said, and it looks like a little, pouch that you get like jewelry from a fancy store.
Like pantyhose.
Yeah, but with like a drawstring on. He's like, you put your stuff in there, you tie it tight, and nobody can see. I was like, fuck out of here. We've worked with these people for like 2 months. If somebody sees my Jimmy Johnson, whatever, fuck out of here. So Norm's in the bathroom sizing his shit. He's fucking got the drawstring. He's like, fucking, I need a little adjustment here. I need to get it altered and fitted and everything. So we come out. That's a no-shitter right there, man. And so I come out and I shoot mine. I not to say like I'm so brazen and cool. I was just like, it's late, it's cold. Let's just get this shit done. I'm not gonna like.
We need new stories.
Tie my thing on, right?
Like
So then Norman comes out. It's 32 degrees. He's got his pouch on, right? And he's fucking really tripping out. He's just like, all right, man, we good to go? They do this from behind us. You guys saw it's like 120 frames a second, super slow motion. Two things happen in take one. Number one, Norm's little Jimmy Johnson sack falls off. It falls off. Norman drops the soap. We got this shit in slow motion. It's gonna make the DVD extra someday. Norman's going, You would think he was dropping his heart into his chest. Motherfucker was reaching for that shit like it was his lifeline. Then we call cut. Norman, like, it's all in slow-mo. I've never seen the motherfucker didn't reach for anything that important ever in his life. Motherfucker's reaching for that thing like it fell. Then
last time you said I bent over.
Then the only time I've seen, like, we had a hairdresser that we never fucking saw. We never even met this guy. He was a hairdresser. His name was like Clifford or something. And his name was Clifford something. And he was a sailor. And the first time I've ever seen this guy on the set, somebody's like, I think Troy said that. Could somebody get his man back? Clifford's like, I got it! Motherfucker raced to the set to get that man back. First time I'd ever seen him. Am I right?
That's a good story.
That shit happened. It did. I was there.
Next.
Right here. Yes, you.
How long does it take them to do the tattoos that are on?
How long does it take them to do the tattoos that you guys have?
A couple of hours, and then they stayed on for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the big giant ones in the back? Yeah, a couple of hours, and then they stay on for a couple of days, maybe 2-3 days.
Right over here. Any upcoming projects you're pursuing?
I'd like to explain to you about it, but it would just be too difficult. We're trying to get something together, a pilot. It's at the very beginning stages. That's about the best I can do this morning. This Texas, I didn't go out the night before, but I went out last night, and I'm kind of wrecked. So that's why it's like in there. It's trying to get out, but the doors are closed.
Rocco will tell you in 3 hours. What about you guys?
I got The Conspirator out right now. I'm a director about the assassination of Lincoln. I just finished a film called Hello Herman in LA. I wrapped that about, a week ago, which was insane. Like covered in swastikas, and I infiltrate this supremacist group, and it was like hard acting thing. And then I had a weekend off, and I did Lady Gaga's new video called Reedus. I think it premieres on American Idol tomorrow, I think. But that's, between the swastika and that, I'm probably going to hell. But it's pretty insane. And to tell you the truth, I was really impressed with her. Like her work ethic, like she made me feel so fucking lazy. She was amazing. And then in a week and a half, I go back to Atlanta to do more Walking Dead.
Sean.
Oh yeah. I've just finished a mini-series called Blackout with a bunch of cats in it, like James Brolin, Anne Hesh, who was one of my girlfriends on Young Indie back in the early 90s. Let's see, Billy Zane. That was everybody you can imagine was in this. I just finished that. And I'm in development on a project called the Untitled Mickey Kelly Project. It's about a MMA fighter, about love, life, he's a father, and the trials and tribulations of an emerging sports market, that kind of thing.
Did everybody see the Howling for You music video that Sean was in?
Yeah.
That's it? Really?
There's two motherfucking people.
Wow. Okay.
2 Black Keys fans and a crowd of 1,000.
Great, you should really check it out. It's at bigfanboy.com. Check it out.
It's funny that he's just doing a music video too, because that was one of the coolest experiences I had, to do a music video. I'd never done it, and I know it's it's kind of a tiny little thing, you don't really get paid or anything like that, but it's just neat. I love the Black Keys, and to be a part of that, and I can You know, I need to show my kids of a killer track like that. I think you'd think the same thing. Like a Lady Gaga, that's like it's like an
My
iconic.
kid's not gonna watch that.
I don't know what's
He's
the
losing for like another 10 years.
But it's just a really neat experience, you know.
Okay, I think we have time for.
You can watch.
I think we have time for one more question. Right back there. Yes, you.
We loved your role in Criminal Minds, Sean.
Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
How did you prepare yourself for that role?
You know what? It's you know, there's a lot of different kinds of actors out there, and I'm not a method guy at all. If something's really well written, to me, I have an easy time believing it, and I think it's very well written, and I believe the character really. I don't, you know, a lot of actors will say like. If you thought they had a great performance in something, you know, a lot of times they'll say, well, you know, it came from the turmoil of my youth, and I don't talk to my mom and dad, and my first babysitter touched my dirty bits when I was 7. You know, my art comes from that trauma. Man, I had a wonderful upbringing. My parents were at every sports game I ever had. I still talk to my mom and dad every second day. It's nothing really heavy like that. I latch onto a script like that, and it's a wonderful opportunity. That's why you get into the business, to do a script like that, you know what I mean? It's easy to do. That makes acting easy.
That'll be on Twitter, right? Oh, and let's just, for the sake of it, let's just let people know that it really is you guys on Twitter. Like, it's you guys responding to all those tweets and everything.
What's Twitter?
Maybe not Sean, so.
I'm kidding, yeah, he's big bald head.
www Big Bald Head, that's me.
Yeah.
Does anybody know where that comes from? I think I was the only person that ever like told him, I'm like, I know where that comes from.
Because my mom took me to a
Laurie Anderson?
Yeah,
Sun's
Laurie-
coming up like a big bald head.
Yeah. That's where I came from. Which actually, she came out in this glow-in-the-dark outfit with violin. She was like, and already I was terrified. But then her head pops up, you know, like on the screen behind it. It says, "The sun's coming up like a big bald head," and it always stuck with me. So that's why.
Tells you what a cool art upbringing this cat had. His mom took him to a fucking Laurie Anderson concert. Wow. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, guys, it's always fun talking to you guys, and I really appreciate you coming out to Texas Frightmare Weekend. I appreciate you being with all these guys, and this is a big birthday treat for me, so thanks so much for coming out.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Sean Patrick Flanery, Norman Reedus, David Della Rocco. Follow Boondock Saints on Twitter, and check out the BoondockSaints.com. Come see these guys at their tables. They're going right back there.
Hey
We'll see you
guys,
guys there.
as a party, let's sing him happy birthday. Mark. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Apple. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, brother.
I wear boxers.